think I have 30 minutes until the Pens game, so just hold tight. Members of the St. Francis University Doctor of Physical Therapy class of 2014, let me be the first to take time to congratulate all of us on finally reaching that light at the end of the tunnel. I would also like to personally thank all of you for allowing me to speak in front of you tonight at this ceremony. So here we sit, days before graduation that many of us thought would never come. I would like all of you to take a trip back with me and remember what it was like the first time we all met. It was a sunny afternoon in May, if I recall. We all gathered in the Stokes 221 for our first meeting ever as the DPT class of 2014. None of us knew what to expect. I think the only thing we were worried about was Dr. Russo's quiz he was giving us on information we were supposed to cover over the summer. Looking back on it now, you can laugh at how easy that test was. But all of us stayed up past midnight worrying about anatomical landmarks and trying to figure out the difference between proximal and distal and medial and lateral. Now those words are used in everyday conversation to the dislike of our family and friends. We were all wide-eyed and naive about what graduate school might include, and sitting in a room full of fellow students that we had never met. It was the beginning of a journey that I am sure we were all skeptical about, but little did we know what experiences and events were about to unfold, and the memories and friendships that we were going to make that I know will last a lifetime. Shortly after our first meeting, and classifying our diverse personalities into 4 simple colors, all of which we wore like badges of honor, we were thrown headfirst into a mystical world ruled by Dr. Stephen Russo. Students who had attended St. Francis before knew what to expect, and graduate students who joined our class quickly learned that we weren't in undergrad school anymore, Toto. The days seemed to blend together as we all shuffled from our beds, to the library, to cadaver lab, back to the library, one more trip back to cadaver lab, and then if we were lucky, back to our beds to catch 4 hours of sleep before starting the arduous ritual again. Many of us thought that there was no way that it could get any worse. How could one individual memorize every origin, insertion, action, innervation for every muscle in the human body? Who cares if you can draw out the brachial plexus with your eyes closed? Or was that even a muscle that Dr. Russo tagged in the final practice? But we did it, and I bet if we all looked back, we would do it again. After enjoying the peace and tranquility of a short break, we began our first true semester of PT school. I look back on it now, and I do believe the department lulled us into a false sense of security, giving us back-to-back PERT lectures on Monday morning. Everyone walked away for lunch thinking that they might actually enjoy PT school. But then came cardio lab, and movement science lab, and PT procedures lab, and ex-prescription lab. Soon our minds were swimming in lectures of length-tension relationship and postural drainage and the proper way to ascend stairs with bilateral axillary crutches. Soon your dorm room or apartment became a vacation home, as Stoke seemed to be our new area of residence. Cadaver lab all of a sudden didn't seem so bad. And then to top it off, we still had 2.5 more years left. Well, I'm not going to give you a replay of the last 3 years in the curriculum. I just wanted to remind you of how much we've grown. As we continue through the curriculum, I feel we all found our ways to cope and survive. All of a sudden, a week with 3 tests, a reflection paper, a skills check, and a competency didn't send us looking for the nearest bridge, but instead was met with a sigh and just knowing that we weren't going to get that much sleep that week. Friendships were made stronger, and soon your friends knew how to calm you down and focus you better than you did. Those times were hard, and they were anything but fun to get through, but the friendships and memories and ridiculous study parties and memorization techniques are moments that we will never forget. They were memories that will last a lifetime. Up to this point, I'm sure family and loved ones are probably a little bit worried about what they just put their kids through for the last 2 years. I know that it sounds as though the past 3 years have been a living hell for us, but the truth of the matter is, I wouldn't have changed it for the world. All of us have had our times of low and high. Everyone has shed a tear. Everyone has called either their family or friends to wave the white flag and surrender to the onslaught of didactic knowledge that we needed to know. As difficult as it may seem, I know all of us are tremendously grateful for this experience that we have built, not only with each other, but with the faculty as well. Before ending, there are 2 quotes that I would like to share with you. The first is from Tracy Chevalier. She's a non-fictional author, and this quote is from her speech she gave to the graduating class of Oberlin College in 2013. She had asked a group of her alumni, after 30 years of their own graduation, to make a list of suggestions for new graduates, as they left the safety of college and headed out into the work field. Her list included these suggestions, and I was going to tell you to take notes, but it's over now. We don't have to do that. So the list reads: breathe, travel, plant trees, be kind, be curious, be flexible, trust your gut, drink more water, wear comfortable shoes, take emotional risks, accept compliments graciously, be a good friend, do the right thing, don't be afraid to improvise, learn to laugh at yourself, do things that scare you, learn how to or get reaccredited in CPR, don't sweat the petty things, be willing to change your mind. If you need help, ask for it. Never go to bed mad at your partner. Find someone you can laugh in bed with. Stick to your principles and speak out about them. Wear multiple hats to make yourself indispensable. Graciously admit your mistakes and try to learn from them. Do things when you have the opportunity, rather than waiting for the timing to be right. Take care of your body. It will be your constant companion for the rest of your life. If you are not already fluent in a second language, become so. It can make you much more human. When picking a career, make sure the other people who work in that field are people you enjoy spending a lot of time with. Create your own identity, as the world has too many overcrowded stereotypes. Be true to who you are with your life choices. You are the only one who has to live with the results of these choices. And finally, make sure you dedicate yourself to something you love, that you will have to spend a long time doing it, and you want to get up every day and love what you do. Fellow soon-to-be graduates, the time has finally come. No longer do we have to live and die by an ominous 82%. No longer will we have Dr. Mulligan's one-liners to bring a smile on our faces on a Friday morning research lecture. No longer will we fear getting Dr. Stoddard for our final spine. We will always wonder if our documentation has met Marianne's standards. We will always attribute our personal finance abilities to Mark's administration class. No longer do we have to check in with Peg to see how clinic's going. There will always be one more time where we are thankful Dr. Hanlon made us memorize postural drainage positions and the proper sequence for lung auscultation. We will never meet anyone else who gets quite as excited about biomechanics as Kurt. But we will also never meet anyone who could teach it to us as well as he could. We are finally moving on, closing a chapter in our books of life. I would again like to personally thank each one of you, not just for allowing me to speak in front of you tonight, but allowing me to accompany you all on this journey. The past 3 years of my life have been the most rewarding years to date. I have made some great friends, but I can say I am so grateful to have gotten to know and work with all of you. We are all going to make tremendous physical therapists, and I implore you to never forget that. Do not become complacent. Never stop pushing yourself to do greater. You no longer just represent yourself, but this entire graduating class and this university as well. To the professors that are here tonight, I cannot begin to extend my deepest gratitude towards you all. People do not realize what you have to put up with over these 3 years. And I just thank you for everything that you've done for us. The second quote I wish to leave you with tonight comes from Wade Davis. He's a Canadian anthropologist and ethnobotanist who gave this during the commencement speech at Colorado College in 2010. His quote reads, "A career is not something that you put on like a coat. It is something that grows organically around you, step by step, choice by choice, and experience by experience. Everything adds up. No work is beneath you. Nothing is a waste of time unless you make it so." St. Francis University, Department of Physical Therapy class of 2014, it is time to start growing our careers. I thank you again for your time, and again, congratulations. I hope to see you all in